Hello everyone, welcome to Words of the Way, Chapter 3, Organizing for Word Study. This chapter really is super helpful when figuring out how to implement Words of the Way in your classroom. I'm going to give you the highlights in this video. However, I would highly recommend that you go back and read particular pages, which I'll recommend throughout this module, if not reading the entire chapter. It's going to be super helpful to you. This module will cover the types of sorts that you do with students. The introductory sort, which is that very first sort you do for instructional purposes with kids, and then the follow-up routines throughout the week. Preparing word sorts, implementation in your classroom, including ideas of how to structure your week, and then how to connect it with reading and writing so they don't see word study as an isolated part of our literacy block. Just like I mentioned before, you can access the PD toolkit using that link and that code in the back of your PD book. Also, as mentioned previously, I will refer to the following books. The PD book is the blue, yellow, and white book, and the specific spelling stage pattern books are on that slide there for you, and I'll refer to those throughout this module. Okay, so why are students working with words that they know? You might have some parents wonder about this question, or you might even wonder this question yourself. As they sort words throughout the week, many of the words, if not all of the words, will be words that they know. The purpose of this, and it is intentional, is so that students can concentrate on analyzing the sounds or patterns in words. So they're not just memorizing patterns, getting ready for a weekly spelling test. They're studying words and analyzing them. So to be able to do that more effectively, it's better if they know the words. Okay, there are 3 types of sorts that you'll do with students, and they are based on the 3 layers of English orthography: the sound, or in other words, phonological awareness, the patterns of letters, and then the meaning. So as you see, it's not just memorizing the pattern. Word study goes so much deeper, which is why it's more effective than just a spelling approach, that we're including phonological awareness, and we're also including the meaning of words along with that. Okay, so the first type of sort that you could do with kids is a sound sort. So they're listening to how words sound differently. For younger spellers in the primary grades, they would be listening to things like rhyme, the initial sounds that they hear in words, and word families. The advanced spellers that you'll encounter in the upper grades will study the sounds that they hear in unaccented syllables, the number of syllables that they hear in a word, and syllable stress. This is super important because, again, as mentioned, it gets to phonological awareness. If you don't know what phonological awareness is, that's okay. I did not know for the longest time when I taught 3rd and 5th grade as well. Phonological awareness is different than phonics. Phonological awareness gets at the sound, not just the letters and the words, but how words sound differently. Research shows that students that are in the upper elementary grades and that are below grade level in reading have a deficit in phonological awareness. So I'm super excited that we have a program that's going to address that with our students. Another type of sort that you'll encounter is the pattern sort. So looking at patterns of letters and word combinations. If you're teaching the Within the Word Spelling Pattern book, you'll sort by vowel patterns such as the AI in wait and train, or the E to the end, also known as evil ear or bossy E, as in plate and blame. Advanced spellers will sort by the pattern of consonants and vowels at the syllable juncture. So there are strategic ways that you can split words apart in both spelling and decoding, which is why this is going to help both spelling and reading, that will help you be able to, again, spell and read the word. Sort by patterns of constancy and change across derivationally related words. There's a few big words there. So basically we're getting at Greek and Latin roots there, and how the pattern in divine helps you spell divinity. The pattern in mental helps you spell and decode mentality. Okay, before we get to the third type of sort, I wanted to point out that pattern sorts can often follow in the same instructional period, so in the same 15 to 20 minutes. Pattern sorts can oftentimes follow sound sorts. Let me give you an example. So let's say that you're working with a group of kiddos and you have these words along the left-hand side of the slide here. Care, share, chair, pair, and cart, farm, start, and dark. So obviously they would have been all mixed up at first, and then you would ask them to sort by the sound. Obviously care, share, chair, and pair all say air, and then cart, farm, start, and dark have the R or R controlled vowel sound. So that's first sorting it by the sound of the words. And then you could take it deeper if you then took this first column of words, care, share, chair, and pair, and divided it up by the pattern that they see. So the pattern, going over to the right-hand side of the slide, the pattern is A-R-E in both care and share, and A-I-R in chair and pair. So you're showing students that the air sound could be spelled with more than one pattern. For more information on this, you can see page 50 and 53 in the PD book. Keep in mind, though, that pattern sorts don't always follow sound sorts. So, again, with a specific example, let's say that you had these words here, and they were all mixed up, and then you would not start with a sound sort, because listen as I say these words: witch, patch, hutch, switch, reach, coach, peach, teach. They all have the ch sound at the end, so it wouldn't make sense to start with the sound sort. It would make much more sense to start with the pattern sort. So they would see that some words have TCH and some words have CH. However, you could then take a look at the sound sort and see that those words that have TCH have a short vowel sound, as in witch and patch, and those that have a CH ending oftentimes have a long vowel sound, as in reach and coach. So for more information, you can see page 53 in the PD book. The last type of sort that you'll be working with are meaning sorts. So things like homophones, homographs, and Greek and Latin roots. Again, this is one thing that I'm super excited that Words Their Way will provide for us. We have a systematic way to teach Greek and Latin roots, which is something we did not have in the past. And there's huge gains that students can make in both spelling, well, in all three, spelling, reading, and writing, if they have the knowledge of Greek and Latin roots, which is not only going to help them in literacy, that's going to help them in social studies and science as well. For more information on meaning sorts, see page 54 in the PD book. Okay, so the introductory sort. This is the very first sort you do, probably at the beginning of your week, where you instruct the students on their new sort. There are 4 different structures you can use for this introductory sort. I would highly recommend that you stick with the teacher-directed closed sort for the first several weeks until students get used to that sort, and then move into the teacher-directed guess my category, and eventually the student-centered sort and student-centered open sort. I could talk through these, but honestly, guys, it's going to make a lot more sense if you go through and read pages 55 to 60 in the PD book. It's going to be much more effective than me trying to do it over the screencast. So that is required reading for you guys. Please take a look at those pages, because that's going to help you know how to do that introductory sort. Also consider teacher talk and student self-reflection. There's a section, I believe it's in these pages, on the power of how to word your instruction. There's real power in asking questions during this introductory sort as opposed to being too directive. You want kids to do the critical thinking, the analysis of the words, the study of the words, and there are certain questions that you can ask that will help you with that. And there is a page in the PD book that will help you with that. Again, I think it's somewhere between pages 55 and 60. If not, it's around there. Okay, so I'm going to stop here for this video, and then we'll continue on with chapter 3 on the next video. So that's it for now. Thanks, guys.